Hi everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back, dear friends and followers. I have a little bit different topic today, but I can't ignore it. We live in the real world, and sometimes we're gonna be talking about more than just relationships aspects and things like that. So today, this morning, I received a message from subscriber of mine asking me to comment on the coronavirus, on the coronavirus threat in Ukraine, and also the news how Ukrainian citizens have been treating uh, their own people. How Ukrainian citizens have been treating people who just came back from China. And so I just want to talk about this. It's very difficult for me because it's that very moment where you feel extremely embarrassed for your country, for your descending, for your people. This is truly, truly embarrassing to me personally because if you watch the news, if you look it's all over. It's on UK news. Not sure if it's on American news, but you can find it. So there was a group of people that were flying from China to Ukraine, going back for because of the outburst of the coronavirus, and they were landing in Kharkiv. It's one of the bigger cities in Ukraine, and it was absolutely unbelievable to see that people would throw stones in them and would attack the bus. So there is a small town. It's a sort of a resort kind of town, and people were uh, waiting for the Ukrainians to come back, uh, that are coming back from China. They were waiting for them to try to not let them to uh, spend 14 days in a sanitary. Sanitary is sort of like a place for rest. It's a kind of as a kind of like a hotel for recharging resort. It's not a very modern hotel. It's a small Ukrainian town, so it's not great. But the Ukrainian people were going to spend time in that hotel for place for about 14 days. So if anybody by any chance got that virus, that they could be kept and not spread the virus. I do understand the feelings of the people. They are scared that possibly there is a person from the group of Ukrainian tourists that possibly could have coronavirus. And I can tell you that in Ukraine, even though they say they can treat it, they cannot treat it. I honestly think it would have been better probably for these Ukrainian people to stay in China because they build new hospitals like this. They have more funding for their health care. They already certain people survive the virus and get the treatment, which sorry, which I believe in Ukraine it would be very hard to get. So if I would be in their shoes, I probably would stay in China or maybe fly somewhere else. I really don't know, but they made such a big deal out of it. And I can imagine how people feel when it takes them, 24 hours to get home, on the airplane. Some of them were flying with small children. And you get on a bus after all this mess with figuring out where the plane is going to land. They get on the bus, and the people are there, just absolutely fierce, insane, uh, angry, obnoxious, and they would throw stones and do all kinds of incredible, unlawful things to prevent themselves from coronavirus. This is the thing about certain people that struggle with common sense, that not educated, that do not have any etiquette. Can you imagine being on a bus, flying back from unexpected catastrophe with this virus, and having somebody attacking your bus? So you might not die from coronavirus, but you might get injured, hurt by somebody who is your own nation, supposed to be your home, but you can kill somebody throwing a rock in them. Can you imagine being driving, being on the bus with your family, with your loved ones, with your small children, and having rocks flying through the windows, and people being aggressive and wanted to attack you and kill you? First of all, they are going to be staying in for 14 days in a place where nobody, it's controlled and nobody can come in. So how these people even supposed to get that coronavirus, even if one person on that bus is infected, if they are staying away from the people, they're not allowed contact. It's almost like they stay not in a hotel, but kind of like a hospital. So they stay in there, and it's not very, nice place. But all these people, mandatory, I don't know, mandatory. Sorry. Well, you get my point. So they are, yeah, they also were some foreign people too somehow. Yes, quarantine. Yes, it is quarantine, and it's not like they would go around the city and talk to somebody, and it's just this ignorance. That's one of the things that drives me crazy about people who do not have, once again, integrity, education, um, and just any kind of humanity. It's just like I watched a few videos on this, and I'm just so deeply embarrassed about my own country at these moments like that. It's, we're not living in medieval times. This is something people would do in mid-centuries. Yes, they would throw rocks at you. It's just absolutely unbelievable. If I see a person, the thing is, when people do that, they create this whole circle of negativity. If you see somebody throwing a rock at your child, wouldn't you murder that person? Or threaten your life, or glass flying into you? I mean, it's just so, in the moments like this, I'm extremely grateful to, as a person I met in Ukraine and I moved to United States. These are the moments where I'm just like, that is so extremely embarrassing. I have no words to tell you, and just I think we should address sometimes some geopolitical issues as well. We should address sometimes, I've studied political science for many years. I try to avoid it because it gets me on fire, and I turn turn into a monster. Not a monster, but a person that understands something about it, and I just take no bullcrap, because I understand how certain things work, and it just, in the moments like this, it feels hopeless. So the people who are, so it's like the most educated people. sorry Sorry, guys, I forgot my tea. The most educated people, the people who have the most depth, and know the history, good at history, good at with all kinds of knowledge, engineering, languages. There are a lot of extremely gifted and talented people, but they live along with people who are just out of the woods, just as if they, just walk out from some, Middle Ages. It's just really so, so devastating to see that. Thank God nobody, as far as I understood, everybody is alive. So it's so crazy to me that these people are less likely to die from coronavirus, as they are die from their own people. Isn't that insane? Give me guys some feedback. I just want to come out. I just want to, I will be addressing certain issues that going on in the world, and just so we can talk about. Thank you guys. Thank you for joining. Let's Can somebody tell me something positive? I'm really upset about this. Yeah, exactly. King Nero is saying, kind of like being a leper in the Middle East. Yeah, it's like we are some kind of Syria, or we are not like that. We are different kind of people, but unfortunately, some people were not touched by education and common sense. And I don't want to put anybody down, but people overall in a big city, so people who grew up educated, they would not go and throw stones. These people are uneducated people. They felt like it's a threat. The coronavirus just gonna, as soon as they open the door in a bus bringing these people to a private place, as soon as they open the door, everybody gonna die from coronavirus. If they would think a little bit, they would realize it's going to be a quarantine, and that's going to be, they are staying away. You can't even come there. You can't even go through the door to see those folks. So this is just extreme ignorance, and it's just extreme, I forgot this word in English, just focused. Cruelty. I cannot. I'm just I'm totally speechless, guys. Yeah, we are not in Syria. We are not in what is this other country in Africa when they throw stones in a woman if she does something wrong. She get stones. He's throwing stones at people. Wow. It is so extremely embarrassing. Um, to be honest, Ukraine should put a block against Chinese people who come to Ukraine as Russia did. I really do not know what Ukraine had put out. It's up to our president what he's going to do. Um, these were not. Uh, these were mostly Ukrainian people coming back. I've heard that they were crew, also the crew, the aircraft, possibly a few foreigners. There is no excuse uh, for, okay, maybe the government should manage this a little bit different. Maybe there should be a place somewhere in the middle of nowhere where they take in all these people, so nobody is throwing anything with them. I do understand the threat of the virus getting there. I do understand the threat of for people's lives, but when you throw stones and glass flying into children and people on a bus, it's not saving anybody's life either. Where are these people supposed to go? Yes, the government, the president, whoever should have prepared better. They should have a plan for them when they pick them up from airport, and they bring them somewhere where no people can get in contact with them. Yes, it could have been better organized, but going and murdering, like trying to murder somebody out of your fear to get sick, I mean, that's not how you do things. There is no excuse. I do understand. I would be scared too if somebody say, oh, in your town there's gonna be people who were exposed possibly to coronavirus. I would be very concerned. I might move, I might leave the town, I don't know, but I'm not gonna come out with the stones and try to kill people and make an incredible mess. That is just so embarrassing. It's not even I mean, there were tons of police. I recommend you guys watching it because it will give you like a real picture. There was tons of police. There were tons of things going on, but no, uh, people just would do it, and this is just. I'm just absolutely speechless. My son said, "Mom, good things we are in small town Michigan. Nothing gets here." He said, "Nobody cares to travel here, so we are safe." Oh, guys, for those of you who do not know, but I think you know who I'm talking about. So he said, there are some not so attractive things about Michigan, but the good news, nobody gets here, so we are good. We don't need to worry about coronavirus because there is not crazy tourism here in the middle of winter. Oh my gosh. The way he said it, I was just on the floor. Yes, I told him we can walk and do whatever we want. Let me read you guys. Give me some feedback. Oh, um, let's see. I understand people concerned as the virus spread out to Iran, lately killed two people. Well, don't let me commenting on Iran right now. I have no problem with peaceful people, but Iran is such a mess in this world with their politics and things. So don't. Oh, okay. I know nothing about politics. Reminder, reminder. I know nothing about politics. Okay. Yes, I do understand that some people gonna be traveling. There are. I think in U.S. they send them to some kind of military bases and waiting for a quarantine to make sure they're not sick. I do understand. What a threat that is. I don't want to be ignorant about it. I understand. So that's just another reminder also how blessed we are if you are living in in a place that is relatively safe. Okay, Bill Howard. Hey, Bill, how are you? Thank you for the letter. The uninformed do not realize that major World Health Organization have this epidemic high on their priority list as previous epidemics. Yeah, probably. I personally do not believe in scaring yourself to death. I was thinking about Corona beer the other day. Those were some good days, guys, I'm telling you. I have to joke, otherwise, I can't leave. I do think that there is a lot of things of getting people fearful, getting people scared. There's always conspiracy theories, of course, but the point is this. You have to remain a human. You have to remember about humility. You should consider your safety, but you should also consider that these are human beings. And you can understand now why some Ukrainian people want to leave Ukraine. I cannot see this happening like in the United States. Even though, as Russian and Ukrainians, we are so deep, we are so intellectual, we are so highly spiritual. We are so mysterious and we are so educated. Overall. But how is that? In my town, I don't think there are very many people who read the book after high school, honestly. But I don't think if this would be happening here, I people might go on protest, but I cannot see Americans in my town, getting stones and throw them into a bus. I just don't see that happening. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong in my judgments, but I don't see that happening. So that's kind of interesting. What do you guys think? I want to hear from you, and we call it a day. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Well, yes, once again, it's the government responsibility to figure out where they put these people. They are probably. I don't think there is a person on that bus who is really sick. I mean, probably not. Could be, maybe, but so far, there are no symptoms. In 2 weeks, they will see. But this is the government. This is the government duty to figure out where you put them and what you do. And I'm just so, um, I'm just in total shock over this. Okay, guys, please use good language. I'm the only one who is allowed to say bad words on this channel. I'm just kidding, but please watch your language and don't threaten each other because I'm gonna block you. You know, I wanna share this also. I traveled to Ukraine. Gosh, there's so much sun, but I'm not gonna complain about Michigan sun right now. So I traveled to Ukraine when my son was just basically a newborn, and we decided that I'm gonna go by myself. You know, we couldn't afford tickets for all of us, so I was coming to see my family. I believe my son was maybe 6 7 months old, and I want to tell you something interesting. That's one of the downsides of Ukrainian people is sometimes ignorance, and sometimes, like, if I suffer, you're going to suffer. So, you know, when you fly, I fly from Detroit, so it's you need to change planes. So I have a stroller, I have a baby, I have luggage. I'm telling you, there are better ways to die than travel with an infant. I would never do that again. But I did it to see my family and so forth. And so, as I was changing the planes and being in the waiting room and going through multiple identity controls and TSAs, the meanest people, the people that were most mean to me, unfortunately, were, people, Ukrainian women, not men, but women. Their point was, I'm also a mother. I gave birth. I suffered. Nobody helped me, so now you have to suffer. I remember when I was at the checkpoint, you know, holding the baby, holding the luggage, holding the stroller, in tears, just because, like, these people on the bus, they have been traveling for 24 hours at least. They didn't eat, they didn't sleep. It's a nightmare, okay? So I'm standing that in that condition, like barely alive, barely alive, trying to comfort and trying and somebody wanted me to go first in line. There was a gentleman that said, "Oh, no, go in front of me." There was another gentleman that said, "No, no, go in front of me." Everybody wanted to, let the, a young mother and a young child to just let them go. So we suffer less time. And there were sometimes, the Ukrainian women that would say, I don't know. Somehow we raised our children, didn't need any help. Look at her. You think you are entitled? Or they would just call me a B word, just because somebody offered me a hand. So there is this class of Ukrainian people, as is in any country, of course, that is just absolutely ignorant, uneducated, very jealous, and very weird. It was shocking to me. If I see a pregnant woman, if I see a woman with an infant, I would do anything to help, just as any normal person. It wouldn't make you a hero. You just being a compassionate, empathetic human being. And so, as in this situation, even though they could be a threat, uh, you probably need to do some precautions. You probably want to save yourself and your family from potential virus, but you cannot be so ruthless and so heartless, and you cannot just go and threaten people that are in such a vulnerable situation. I'm just speechless about this. Yeah, probably, guys. So anyway, that is a little bit out of what we usually talk about. I don't know if I have time. I wanted to make a video. No, I don't, unfortunately. But I wanted to make a video that will come out from something I just mentioned about sometimes you meet ladies and they're not very empathetic, they're not very kind. So how to spot a toxic Ukrainian woman? That would be my next video because there are many ways to do it, but you better do it early, right? Better do it earlier than later. So guys, um, wait, I have to go. I have to go right now. So I wish you great day. Cannot see you all, but thank you for joining. Tell me what you think about this, and I'll see you soon.